Alrighty, we are live. Joined by LV live, talking Knicks, Celtics, second round of the NBA playoffs. Starts Monday evening. Can't wait, LV. I'm excited. Look, a lot of stuff to talk about. X Factors, all the good stuff. LV is nice enough to bless me with his time again. What's going on, LV?
What's going on, man? Let's get to it, man. Excited about Monday, man. It's finally here. Good 3 days off for the boys, and back to get it rocking and rolling Monday, man. So it's good to see.
Back to getting locked and loaded. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Subscribe, all the good stuff. Smash the like button. I actually scheduled this yesterday by accident, LV, and I had people waiting yesterday, and I was like, damn. But now here we are. But look, this is the one, guys. The matchup we all knew that was coming, right? Knicks Celtics round 2, the heavyweight clash, the chess match, LV, the measuring stick. Everything the Knicks have done, trades, signings, has been building towards this moment, right? To me, this series is more than just basketball. I know that sounds kind of dramatic, but it's the barometer for our future, LV. I mean, I said it in a video, but I think it's about how finding just how close we are to a title and maybe, just maybe, doing the impossible. What you got to say about that?
Hey, listen, man. This is why this team was formed, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the moves they made right before the offseason was really for this moment right here to face against this team and beat this team. That's why you went out and let Dante go, and of course Randall to get Cat. Right. That's why you went out and made the deal for Mikal Bridges. This is why you did this to be exactly where you are right now. Round 2 against the defending champs. Right. You know, we was hoping it would be the Eastern Conference Finals, but no one saw Cleveland playing the way that they play, and they actually lost tonight. So,
Yep, believe it or not,
that's crazy. But this is exactly what you prepared for, man. So there's no better place you want to be than right here, right now, man. So let's get to it.
No better place, ladies and gentlemen. Look, Celtics, they are a beast. Look, we know that. Top 5 in defense, elite shooting, loaded with talent. Obviously, the head of the snake is Jason Tatum. But LV, I'm going to be kind of like real with you. Like, I don't know. After game 6, I'm kind of going into this series with some type of blind faith, I guess, with the Knicks team, with this Knicks team that I haven't had in a long time. But maybe it's just stupid. Maybe it's just guts. I don't know. But I'm ready, man. I'm ready. So, where do you want to start? X factors. How do the Knicks get this done? Because coming into this series, LV, we are the underdog. If you look at all the betting sites, if you look everywhere, Janet G, appreciate you becoming a member. If you look, the Knicks are like, the odds are just not in their favor, LV. So, last game versus Celtics, almost had it in the bag, right? I mean, but they just decided not to foul. They just let Jason Tatum come on the court, splash. So, where does it start, LV? How do we beat this team? How do we beat this team? Let's start there.
To be super honest with you, I think it begins and ends with the coach.
Okay.
Period. His deployment and strategies are going to be huge for this game. The players are the players, man. I mean, we know who Tatum are, we know who Jaylen Brown is, and all those guys. I mean, they're defending champs, right? So, I think we had the pieces. I think we got the players, but how they're deployed and the strategy that's going to be put in place is really what's going to dictate this series. Listen, man, we already know what they are. We already it's no secret to this, right? No, the playoffs is even iller because you're not playing any different team next week. You're playing these guys the next 7 straight games, depending on how far you. So you're going to see them every week, every day, every other day. So now you get to a point where we know what sets you're running. We know what defensive sets you're running. So now it's, can you get a stop? Can you get a bucket? What moves is Tibbs going to make? What moves is Mazzulla going to make? Who's going to blink first? Mm-hmm. That's the key, man. And so now you're going to have, in this series, you're going to have definitely unsung heroes. We already know who's going to come. Tatum's going to come ready to go. Brunson's going to come ready to go. But who's going to be the unsung heroes here? Is it going to be Deuce? Is it going to be someone like Landry Shamet? Is it going to be someone like Sam Hauser, right, for them, right? unsung heroes, man, to me is what's going to get it done in this series. And so you started off by saying blind faith. No, 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 no. You know, it's not blind faith, my sir. It's belief because you love this team, man. And I feel the same way you do, man. I think the last series, winning by 6, gave us kind of like a little we got a little hair on our chest, man, from that, right? You know what I mean? That's what we got from that. And to me, it woke us up, got us ready and prepared for that beast that we play tomorrow night, man. And I think we're locked and loaded. I think we're ready to go.
Appreciate you guys in the chat. Loud and clear. Appreciate you for the gifted of the subs. Appreciate you guys as always. Got a poll in the YouTube chat. What is your series prediction? Knicks in 6, Knicks in 7. Celtics sweep the Knicks. Celtics in 5, 6, or 7. We'll get to those results in a bit. Chris says Knicks in 5. Nostalgic with the fire emoji. What's going on, nostalgic? Ed said, Santa, salute to every single one of you in the chat, man. LV and I just getting started rocking with, just getting ready for the Knicks Celtics. Look, LV, yeah, I mean, Deuce, Payne. Payne has actually had a good stats against the Celtics this year. Deuce has actually played well against them. Remember game 1? Opening night, Deuce McBride came out on fire. He was like one of the lone bright spots in that game. So I'm hoping this is kind of like a confidence booster for him. Maybe. But talk about the first round, LV. I think that Pistons series, say what you want about that. Look, it took 6 games, longer than expected. But the Knicks got it done. Tough, gritty. Maybe that was a perfect series just to get our feet wet before the Celtics series. Because quite frankly, the Celtics, they are the more talented team, but they don't like being tough. They don't like getting down and dirty. They don't like none of that stuff. In fact, I think the Knicks can bother them a little bit by be physical with them. We saw that a little bit versus the Magic. They were kind of bothered by it, but they're just so talented. But in the Pistons series, LV, I know you wanted to talk about Mikal, but I think in that game 6, Mikal Bridges had his Knick moment, right? And we were waiting for it. Second half, he was incredible. Third quarter, incredible. Dunk on Cade. Incredible game from Mikal Bridges. Yelling at the Knicks to, y'all better get your ass out here and do some layups in the third quarter because we're not going to have a lapse again. The wings, I think, have to show up, and I think Mikal had his moment in game 6, LV, and I think he can carry that over. And even after the game, we're built for this. SHIT. So I don't know, man. I feel good about Mikal now. Like I feel like that was his moment that he needed. And I feel like this Knicks team is galvanized and game 1 is crucial. But yes, Mikal, do you think he's kind of becoming a quote unquote leader on this Knicks team? Like I asked on X?
A leader. You could say maybe like an unsung leader. I think guys respect him, because he comes out. And once again, I think the most important thing is he doesn't really talk too much, but his play speaks for itself, meaning that he comes and he plays every day. He's an Iron Man. All right. So you're not going to get no complaints out of him. He's going to go out. He's going to give his all. He's going to play hard. Whether he has a good game or bad game, you're going to get a good effort from him. And so that speaks a lot to a lot of guys. So once again, right, it's a brotherhood, man, that's in that locker room. So those guys play for each other. They, of course they play for the fans in a sense, but low key they play for each other. That's the goal. And so I'm not surprised that when he went out there and said, "Yo, man, we gotta do layup lines," they came out and did layup lines. I'm not. So who's the coach? Is it him or is it the Tibbs? Which one is it? Who's the coach? Is it Mikal or is it Tibbs? Because if he can identify that, and the team comes out and does it, that means that everybody else identifies it too. But he's the one that pretty much rang the bell and said, "Yo, we need to do layup lines, man." Like, Tibbs isn't going to think that. Like, he's like, you know what I mean? So there's a disconnect there, obviously. So that's a conversation for a different day. But
yeah,
I think guys respect him in that locker room, man. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it showed how hard he plays and how guys are motivating him on the sideline. And you saw how people were reacting when when Jalen Brunson hit that shot. It wasn't like they were cheering. Like, they were cheering because they were proud that their brother hit that shot for the whole team. So this affects everybody, man, in that locker room. So I'm not surprised that those things happened the way it did. And I'm not surprised that he's playing the way he is. I mean, he's been here before. He's been to a finals.
Mm-hmm.
Who on this team has been to a finals? Maybe OG Anunoby. I think he was hurt
Yeah.
during that Toronto series. But campaign, right?
Yeah.
Was PJ Tucker to a finals? I'm not
Yep.
sure.
He
Right?
won with the Bucks.
Okay, so there you go. Right. So there's guys in that locker room that've been down this road before. So I think that what they say and is going to really echo in that locker room. So yeah, man. I mean, sometimes when guys go out there and they play, man, you don't really need to say much. Just let your play speak for it. And he's playing really, really well, man. That last series, I thought he was exceptional, man. I think it's going to carry over.
Likewise, I do as well. Got a comment here from Jay Boogie. Says, believe, faith, hard work, and dedication. It was written like Nas' second album for the Knicks in Boston. I don't think they can play us any better, but we can. Salute, salute, 3 capitals. Salute, Jay Boogie. What's going on?
Jay Borg, 3 capital S's. All right, man. What's going on? Appreciate you coming through rocking with us, man. Truly appreciate it.
El Figgy said this series is 100% on Thibs. The Celtics have too much firepower, and this is going to take strategy, play chess, not checkers. Yeah, I agree, El Figgy. Play chess, not checkers. And Celtics scouting report, I actually talked to a Celtics fan, and, we'll get to that a little bit soon, but obviously they're a great team, right? I mean, this is going to take a full effort to beat this team. All hands on deck, defensively. They're going to hit threes. I mean, you can try to stop them. You can try to limit their threes, and that will ultimately, help. But, they're going to shoot threes. They're going to make a lot of threes. So, but yeah, Tom Thibodeau, I think it's all hands on deck. I thought it would be smart to start a Mitchell Robinson in this series, LV, but then the more I thought about it, I was like, nah, I mean, Mitch trying to defend those threes out there. I mean, it's just a recipe for disaster. He'll help with the rebounding, but Josh Hart will help the pace. So I don't think the Knicks go down that route. But guys, it's honestly, what the starters are gonna do. Like Cat, talented, he's amazing, but sometimes he's maddening. Right? You're sitting there like, bro, you're a 7-foot gifted center, and sometimes he's just maddening, but he says all the right things in the locker room. He says all the right things to the media. He's like, look, as long as we win the game, I don't care. But I think this series in particular will be a better one for Karl-Anthony Towns. I think it will allow him to be the three-point shooter that he really wants to be. He really doesn't want to bang. He'll do it, but he really doesn't want to do that. He wants to take a lot of threes, and I think this series alone will allow him to do that. Celtics are probably not going to be too physical with him. So Cat is a major importance in this series. Obviously Brunson, but in terms of the wings, I think OG and Mikal got to step up in terms of defense, LV. Like, I think they got to step up in terms of defending Jaylen Brown, defending Jason Tatum. I think our wings have to kind of match their wings, match the intensity, match the defensive edge, not match the offense per se, but just make it difficult for them. Limit Jason Tatum's playmaking, because I think that is what you got to limit, his playmaking. Make Jaylen Brown dribble, because he doesn't want to dribble. So, LV, I think it starts with the wings in our starting 5, and then we can work our way to the bench.
Listen, man, I totally agree, man. I mean, OG Anunoby hasn't played well against the Celtics, man. I think he's averaging under like 10 points. I believe I saw it was like 8.8 points a game or something like that. He's averaging against the Celtics. Like, he has not played well against them at all this year. So that's going to be big. I think Tibbs has got to be really mindful. I think he's got to pay attention to those minutes, and I think he's got to match OG Anunoby's minutes with Tatum's. That's who he has to guard. He's got to deploy him the same way he did when he played against Kay Cunningham. It's going to be tough for Bridges to get on. He could switch on Tatum, but we saw it in the last game. Tatum's too big, man. You see, he shoots right over him, man.
Yeah.
Remember, Cade is 6'6", and we talked about this. Tatum's about 6'9", 6'10". He's huge, man. So he could just reach his arms up, and we saw it last game. And Mikal was playing great defense, but he can't do nothing with him because he's just bigger. Size matters. So you're gonna have to match up, OG Anunoby with him, because he can't push OG Anunoby around like that. He just can't. So you're gonna have to pay attention to that. So on both ends, we're gonna need them to really, contribute at a high level. Because once again, that's why they were brought in here, man. OG Anunoby's getting $212 million. We gave up 5 picks for Mikal Bridges for this matchup right here. This is the reason why they're here. So we're going to need them to step up. I'm not saying, they get, because, for the season against us this year, Tatum's averaging 33.5. He's legit, man. Come on. So we know
Yeah,
how good Tatum
he's
is. So
stud.
we don't expect anybody to really stop him. Just contain him somewhat. I think Brown is hobbled. He's still dealing with this knee issue.
A little
So
bit, yeah.
that's something we got to pay attention to. But we need them to somewhat match up. Like if they're, on the year, I believe they're averaging almost 17 and a half points a game this year, OG Anunoby and Mikal. We're going to need that same type of effort, like 19, 21 from each of them every night, every game. That's what we're going to need because it's not so much getting stops against Boston. It's matching their offensive output. You got to be able to do that. And so that's where we're going to need OG Anunoby to get his, like last game, remember, he had about 20-something points, right? He had 22, right? So we're going to need that. Mikal at 25. We're going to need that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to have to be like an every game thing because you got to be able to match these guys, man, pound for pound. And then through that, you get into the fourth quarter with 2-3 minutes left. There's nobody better in this league than Brunson. So if we're there, you give him the ball, game time. And that's how we feel. So
Game time. Love what he said about the shot, too. Look, shot's a shot. It is what it is. No time to celebrate. Let's go. I'm excited, man. I am. I mean, we'll see how my mood is going to be after game one. But game one, I think, is extremely crucial for the Knicks. Carl says, what's the status of Holiday? Is he healthy? I don't believe they have any injuries on the injury report, right, LV?
No, yeah, he's cleared. They cleared him to play, so he's gonna be playing game one. But here's the thing, Carl. Here's the thing with the whole Holiday thing. He's got a strained hamstring,
Yeah.
so that's fishy. So he can be okay this game and may not be out next game, or he may be out the next 2-3 games because that hamstring. So we want to monitor him and see how he's gonna look in game one. Right? Are they gonna monitor his minutes and stuff like that, or we got to see that because that's key. Hamstrings are no joke. We saw what happened to OG Anunoby with that. Remember, Precious was out for a couple of months this year because he had a strained hamstring. So we got to pay attention to that, man, because if they don't have him, that's a big, big positive for us and a negative for them.
Yeah, so he's expected to play right now. He is nursing a hamstring injury. Those are extremely tricky. So I'm sure, Jalen Brunson's going to take it, at him. And yeah, so Celtics scouting report, LV. So I spoke to a Celtics fan. Shout out to Dave. Look, they're top 5 in they're a great offensive team, but they're top 5 in defensive rating as well. They've outscored the Knicks by 33 points from 3 over 4 regular season matchups. Disciplined team that rarely loses back-to-back games. They rarely lose back-to-back games, which is why I think game one is so important for this Knicks team. Go out there, game one, steal the game. Horford, steady vet, actually plays solid defense. Tatum is a problem, and Brown can take over. But he said, make Jaylen Brown dribble. He said, make him dribble. Take away Jason Tatum's playmaking. Jason Tatum's playmaking is pretty much what fuels this Celtics team. So get the ball in Jaylen Brown's hands, make him dribble, and he's just not comfortable. He said he's still nursing his knee injury. He said he's saying all the right things, like he's fine, yeah. But he was not really having a great round one for the Celtics against the Magic. Porzingis didn't have a great round one against the Celtics for the Magic. So Holiday is healthy, like we just said. Brown's health is still shaky. Celtics, they do tend to play silly at times. They blow big leads. I mean, we saw that 2 games prior when we faced them in Boston. They just blew a lead and we cut it to 4. They're prone to doing that. They blow leads. And he also said the non-Jason Tatum minutes are key. He says Boston gets sloppy when he is off the floor. And I think, look, Tatum's going to play what? 41, 42, 43 minutes.
Yeah, he's going to be up there.
But the non-Jason Tatum minutes, he says, are key. Then Porzingis and pick and rolls can be hunted. So I think OG should shine if he's aggressive in this series. And yeah, look, just take away Jason Tatum's playmaking, not just his scoring. Force others to beat you. Make Jaylen Brown dribble. And Al Horford is just a solid vet. Defensively, they're look, man, defending champs, right? Right now we're just picking at little things about how to beat them, but Yeah, Jaylen Brown, get the ball in his hands, make him dribble, make him play
Yeah,
make.
I mean, there's a blueprint to beat them, man. I mean, you just have to got to be disciplined. I mean, the perfect example, right? I said it on my show today, did a quick show today, and I just pretty much talked about how you can't play drop, man. This is where that's why I started off by saying this is all about tips, deployment, and strategy. We cannot play drop. I'm gonna say it again. We cannot play drop. You cannot do that against these guys because all they want to do, it's simple offense that they do, but it's dangerous because they really truly play a 5 out. And what changes everything for them is Porzingis. That's what changes everything for them.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody, because we basically have the same team as them, the problem with us is Josh Hart. He can't shoot the way Derek White can. So they have a true 5 out where 5 guys can knock down the three. So that's why your friend that mentioned Jason Tatum's playmaking, because when he penetrates and he does that head fake, he gets in the middle and he's looking to spray. And that's what they do. They all of them hop out into the 3-point line. So if anybody closes on him, he has an option to kick it left or kick it right. Are we kicking the Drew Holiday? Are we kicking the White? Or are we kicking the Porzingis coming off the pick and roll? So everybody's at the 3 ready to attack. And before you know it, you were down by 2. You're making bad decisions defensively. Now you're down by 15. I mean, that's how quickly it happens. So you cannot play drop. If you're going to switch, everybody's got to switch. You got to switch automatically. You can't think about it. It's got to be a quick decision.
You think about it, it's a wrap, man.
Right. So, but see, where Orlando did really well is Orlando shut down all that. They guarded everything. They switched everything. We know how good defensively Orlando is. They just don't have, defensively, they just don't have a good offense. But they have the bigs, and they have the wings, and they have the size to switch with Bonchero and, of course, Wagner. And, they got a lot of guys they could throw out there. But that's what they were doing, and that's what the Knicks have to do. We have the guys for it. Now, granted, we understand JB's not great defensively. I think he's okay. I don't think he's horrible, but I think he's okay to where he could switch and hold his own somewhat. Mm-hmm. Cat is a different issue here, right? So he's going to have to switch. He's going to have to guard. That's the beauty of having Mitch, because he can switch on that ant and he can guard. He can as Big Perk would say, he moves them puppies really well. So that's a great thing about Mitch. He can get blocks, he can get steals, he can do all those things defensively that Cat can't do. So that's the key here, man. You got to be smart and you got to be disciplined. And through that, man, I think we should be fine, man. But that's the strategy that you're going to have to use against these guys.
No drop. Right, switch it. So do you want them to switch everything?
They have to. They have to. They're gonna. Here's what they do that I don't like, and I'm sure you probably noticed it too. When the pick and roll comes, and the guy with the ball rolls, why do they chase? So if a person's attacking Cat, OG Anunoby would chase the guy dribbling the ball. He'll chase him, and I'll leave a guy wide open at 3. And everybody does it. Josh Hart does it. It's like I don't. To me, that's not an issue. That's being coached, man. That's being coached. They're being told to do that. They do it too much, and it's leaving wide open 3s. It's just that with Detroit, they weren't destroying us through that. Sometimes Hardaway would have a good game. Sometimes Beasley. You can't do that with these guys, man. It'll be just like opening night, man. It'll be just like opening night. If you're gonna switch, you got to switch right away. You're gonna have to D straight up. We do not want to give up open 3s. That's what they want to do. Their offense is focused on that. What they shoot, I think what they shoot against us first night was 61 threes or something like that.
Ridiculous, man. They almost set the record. They were trying to set it.
Right. That's what they're doing. They're hunting 3s. This should be easy for Tips, but
I think they average like 48 a game, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. That's what they want to do. And the last time they outshot us from 3, and we should have won that game. So that's a positive sign. So here we have, 6 men, Campaign, McBride, Celtics. I have Al Horford. Then they also have the 6th man of the year. And what's his name? 6th man of the year. Who just won the 6th?
Pritchard.
So they have Pritchard off the bench, who's a stud, but he's a solid shooter. But, physicality, you could rough him up. He also said Sam Hauser does not like physical basketball. So if you're physical with Sam Hauser, you saw it in round 1. He was missing everything in round 1. So just be physical with these guys. I'm telling you, learn from round 1, be physical with them. And I think that will, bear fruit. So their starting lineup is what? Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Kristaps, Jason Tatum, and
Derek White.
Derek White. Okay, so they have Pritchard off the bench, Hauser, then they have Al Horford off the bench. Those are the three off the bench
Right.
that they
And
utilize.
Luke
And
Cornett, the big kid. Yeah.
Yeah. So even Cornett, man, it's like
that's why you have Mitch.
yeah.
That's why you have Mitch. Mitch is going to be big in this series, huge, especially when we go to that double big lineup. Mitch is going to be great because of how good he is defensively, and he can switch and he can guard. He gives Tatum problems because of his length and his athletic ability, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing with Mitch. You just can't start him because he struggles with Porzingis. But see, a guy like Cornette and stuff like that, he can handle him with no problem. Mitch can be good switching, no issue. He's proven it. So that's the beauty of that. And so, like you said, those non-Tatum minutes, that's big because that's when Mitch is out there. So if we can get those defensive stops, that'll be great. Another thing, man, Deuce has got to step up, man. This is where he should take the opportunity to look at this challenge of facing a guy like Pritchard and really take it to him defensively in all aspects. Deuce is a better athlete than that kid, so it shouldn't be an issue. Deuce has got to take it personal, man. He's got to play with a little bit more of an edge and something out there. See, that's why we miss Dante. Dante would have took this challenge and said, okay, I'm looking my chops. I'm going to really expose this kid. So that's the thing. That's what we need Deuce to do because then that could neutralize that matchup there, right? And then it could be a good balance. And once again, like I stated, man, we go in the fourth quarter with Brunson, and we're up by 1 or down by 2. I like our chances.
Deuce got to step up. We all know Deuce McBride has to step up. Campaign has actually played really well against the Celtics this year. Last game against them, 7 points, 14 points, 11. I shouldn't say really well. Solid. He's a solid player. But yes, I think Deuce. I don't know. Something's telling me Deuce is gonna have a better series this series, LV. But in the first series, what did he shoot? I think he shot like 23% from three. Yeah, 26.
He transformed into old Deuce, man. I don't know what that was.
26% from three in round one. Last year he shot 36% from three in round one. The bench minutes are going to be crucial. Do you think Tom Thibodeau will deviate a little bit, play some DeLon Wright, Precious Achua possibly against the Celtics team, or do you think he'll stick
I don't know about
guns?
Precious, man. Precious did not play well against the Celtics, man. When he was out there, he looked lost, man. He looked lost. I think Tibbs should go 9. I think Shamet should get minutes, definitely, because of the wing depth. You're going to need a wing out there. Shamet is about 6'5", right? So you're going to need some more size out there with Boston, right? To maybe spell Mikal or spell OG, right? So I think that would be good. And he can also shoot the 3 ball, right? So remember, Shamet ended the season on a heater, man. He didn't see any minutes last round. That's once again, that's a deployment thing with Tibbs. So we got to see what that looks like, man. But I think he should definitely go 9. Whoever doesn't have it, go and give another guy more minutes. But you're going to need that facing Boston because also, too, you got to think of fouls, right? So that plays a major part guarding those guys, too. So you're going to have to go 9, man. And like you said, I like the DeLon Wright piece. I do like him, and I really do. But I don't know if he gets minutes over a guy like Campaign because of his, Campaign's got, I believe it's like almost over like 50 games of like playoff experience. So Tibbs loves that. So I don't know if he's going to get minutes over Campaign. Now, should he? I think he should. I think it should be all hands on deck, right? But we know who the coach is. So that's going to be an issue, I think. But you never know what could happen, man. But I think Tibbs should go 90.
Landry Shamet, you think Tibbs will go back to him at all?
I don't know, man. I put it to it. I would.
Yeah.
I would. But Tibbs,
Short
I don't know,
leash.
man.
Everyone's on a short leash.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Okay,
let me say this, Ant. You can challenge me on it if you want. It's totally fine. I think first game Monday he's gonna play.
Yeah,
he's gonna play. Depending on how he plays and what he does, then he'll get more minutes in game 2. But I think when he's out there, that's gonna really play a major factor with that, and because once again he played in a Detroit series, and then after that he didn't get off the bench. So I don't know what happened there. So we got to see what that looks like.
Likewise, El Figgy says we won't survive all the sloppy plays and turning over the ball against Boston. Isaiah says Precious cannot play against the Celtics. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Rock it with us, LV live. nice enough to join me again. His channel's linked in the description. He also does Knicks content, man. Really, really talented. LV, man. Appreciate you. But rebounding LV, I think that's crucial as well. I think the rebounding battle is crucial, which is why I kind of tinkered with starting Mitchell Robinson. But it's the long rebounds that concern me a little bit because, those threes, they generate a lot of long rebounds to, you have to play team rebounding. You have to, box out. You have to, just rebound the basketball. And I feel like Celtics, sometimes they're a good rebounding team, but I think the Knicks team rebounding, Tom Thibodeau spoke about it in his press conference as well. And, it's saying that, but, the Pistons were like they out rebounded us, like 4 of the 5 games?
Yeah.
And we were still able to win. And, the bench play was a joke in round 1, and we were still able to come out on top. So it's like, yeah, we need contributions from these guys. I mean, it's a step up in class. It is what it is. It's going to be a tough series, guys. It's going to be I hope it's a long series, though. It's going to be all hands on deck type of series. You have to play perfect against the Celtics team, And one thing the Knicks have coming into the series is they won 3 straight road games, right? So that was the first time in franchise history. They don't have home court. So I feel like that's a good thing, kind of, because they tend to play better on the road. Celtics are also a better road team. I mean, they thrive on the road. And you know what they say, man, pressure makes diamonds, LV. I mean, I think this Knicks team thrives in chaos. And they've been saying all the right things, especially today. I think emotionally in Game 6, I think something came out of them. And I feel like they can kind of carry it over into Game 1 on Monday night against this Boston Celtics. So, look, we will know how this Knicks team is going to respond in Game 1, but it just has to be a team effort to beat this Celtics team, LV. It just does.
Yeah, I mean, Game 1's going to tell you a lot, man. Game 1's going to tell you a lot. I mean, perfect example, right? You see the Pacers won tonight, right? So, look, man, anything can happen in a Game 1. Anything can happen. You just got to come out ready to go and ready to play. I think the beauty of last series, to your point, is that it woke us up. I think the intensity is going to be high because we know who we're playing. We know that they made us look really, really bad this year when we played them, right? So I think that's on the Knicks' mind. And the beauty of this too, Ant, is that every single time we played them, we got closer and closer to beating them.
Mm-hmm.
First game, we lost by 27. Game after that, we lost by 23. Next game, we lost by 13. Last game, we lost by 2. So we've been close to cracking the Da Vinci Code with beating these guys. We've been close each and every time.
Mm-hmm.
So trust me, amongst those guys, they know it's a us against the world mentality. And to me, that's a beautiful thing to have. I'm a Giants fan, so that's the mentality we had when we played against the Patriots, right? Us against the undefeated Tom Brady and the crew, right? And we beat them in the Super Bowl. That's a beautiful place to be as a team. Because now everybody feels you're going to lose. And so what is there to pretty much, why are we worried? Everyone thinks we're going to lose, so why not we just lay it all out there, give our all, play our hardest, and play the underdog role, which is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Go on the road against a team that everybody feels like we should lose to, and go out there and give our all and beat these guys. And then possibly win the series. It's like a us against the world mentality, right? And so to me, that's a motivating thing, man. That should be really, really exciting.
Us against the world. We're coming into this series underdogs. And I like it, man. I do. And, I have this, like I said earlier, I have this blind faith, but it's Jason Tatum is kind of in the back of my mind, and that shot in the last game, he's a great player, and I don't know how you feel, Avi. I'm kind of skeptical of like the all of a sudden analysis. Like all of a sudden our bench is going to perform, and all of a sudden, Deuce McBride is going to play well, and all of a sudden, so it's like we're talking about these things, and it's a low percentage about how like all of a sudden all these things are going to happen. Like I don't know, but I Deuce got to show up because this is, like I said earlier, this series will define this Knicks summer ultimately.
Right. Agreed.
Like you traded for Cat, you traded for Mikal to match up against this Boston Celtics team, LV. So if this Knicks team gets swept or they lose in 5, how close really are we to the Boston Celtics, right?
Right.
At the end of the day. There's
Right.
some,
Listen. Yeah. That's a Leon Rose thing, man. I mean, but that's where I started off by saying, man, to me, this is all on Tip's shoulders, because it's deployment and strategy. You know what I mean? And I'm glad you mentioned about the whole thing about what we gave up earlier, like I stated. But what was a big part of that? Giving up Dante. You know why we gave up Dante? Because we felt that Deuce was ascending. We didn't want to give up on Dante in that deal. We did not.
yeah,
But they put the pressure on us to say, listen, this deal doesn't get done without Dante. And what made them really press the go button was they felt that Deuce was ascending. And so they felt that they could still get an offensive punch off the bench because of how well Deuce has been playing the last couple of years. And he has not looked like that at all, man. For the last month and a half, he just has not been playing well.
mm-hmm.
So to you, that's major for us, because that's always been big for us, guys coming off the bench. Remember IQ coming off the bench producing. Remember Josh Hart used to come off the bench, right? So what I'm saying is that, so all those things matter, man. When you're trying to win a series and beat a team like this, everybody's got to have their hand in the pie, man. Everybody, to where everybody contributes, everybody comes up big. I'm not saying Deuce to average 20, but he's got to have anywhere between 8 to 10 points. He's got to get after it defensively, right? He's got to be able to knock down his shots. He's wide open, knock it down. Those little things matter, man, because we know Pritchard is going to knock it down. You leave him wide open, he's going to make you pay.
Yep.
So Deuce has got to start making you pay, and he's got to get after it defensively. So everybody, it's all hands on deck, man, against this team. It's all hands on deck. Everybody's got to contribute, man. That's the only way we beat these guys.
Let's go. We beating them. I'm feeling it. All right, let me not get crazy. Nikki X says Brown and Holiday, Gimpy, and KP shooting like crap. OG will slow up Tatum, and we have a chance too. Yeah, KP, first round, he didn't play well. Brown, I know he had I think he had a big game 5 for them, but they're gimpy. This Celtics fan I talked to also said that if Holiday is not playing, then this could go 7. Holiday is that important to them. But it looks like Holiday is good to go, but hamstrings are tricky. So Celtics, they never lose 2 games in a row. So he also said that winning game 1 for the New York Knicks is crucial, because you gotta go there and win game 1 and just send a statement. I mean, if we win game 1, LV, I might get kind of crazy out here, man.
Here's the thing, man. I love that optimism. I'm not even going to say just win game 1. Get a split, man. Can we get one out of the 2?
Yeah.
If we can get one out of the 2 and we can go back to the Garden, because now we got home court now. Now we got home court. So to me, that's the key, man. Especially, but even if we lose tomorrow, I want to see how we look at. Are we playing good to the point where we feel like, we could beat these guys? You know what I'm saying? Because I felt that way after the last game we played them in the Garden. When Tatum hit that 3, we were up on them by 3. You know what I mean? We played them really, really well. And that game gave me a little hope, because I said, okay, we're getting closer and closer and closer to beating these guys. I think who's going to be a really big X factor is Josh Hart. I know you mentioned earlier about them loose rebounds. That's what he does. If he can get those loose balls, those rebounds, that's his secret power, man. That's what he does better than anybody. Get loose balls, rebounds, push it up the court. And if he can knock down threes like he did in this Detroit series, that changes everything for us, and so that's going to be big. Too. Yeah, that's going to be big, man, because then if they do that and he's knocking down the threes, oh, man, beautiful, because then that opens up the lane for him to penetrate and finish off at the rim like he usually does. And then if not, he can spray in the corner for them corner threes from Mikal and corner threes for OG Anunoby. So that opens up everything when he's knocking down the 3-ball, man. So that's going to be huge for us.
Also, the way the Celtics have guarded Josh Hart, they throw a center at him. They've been throwing Porzingis at him, and it kind of clogs the paint for JB. It kind of clogs the paint a little bit, because you kind of have this quote-unquote double team, facing JB. But, yeah, that will be crucial. And if Hart can do that, look, he shot the ball well in the first round for this team. I think Mikal actually shot the ball poorly in the first round for the Knicks, but I think if that kind of balances itself out, I think Mikal, what did he shoot in the first round? Bridges shot 32% from 3 in the first round. Obviously, he had that great game 6, but if these guys are to shoot like Mikal, they brings that up to 40%. OG brings that up to 38%. Brunson does his thing. Cat does his thing. Hart brings his 3-point percentage up a little bit. It's crucial, because it's the way they guard him. They don't respect him, LV. He's going to have to hit those threes in order for this Knicks team to, close the gaps on their runs and stop their, 8-0 run. They're going to hit like 2 threes in a row, 3 threes in a row. Hart's just going to be left open. Josh Hart just needs to pull it, man. Just shoot it if you're open. And he's been doing that in round 1. He had a great round 1, in my opinion. And I think Hart can replicate that. And let's go. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Once again, subscribe, like, all the good stuff. Hit some of your comments right now. Zaire says Cat pick and roll defense will decide who wins this series. You agree?
Yeah, that's gonna be big, man. That's gonna be. I don't know if that's gonna decide who wins this series, but I think it's gonna be big, Zaire. I think it's gonna be huge. But that once again, Zaire, that comes to Tibbs, man. He cannot let him play drop. He's gonna have to get up there and defend and move his feet, man. He's gonna have to. Like we can't hide no one here with these guys. Mm-hmm. They're a true 5-out team. So everyone, excuse my language, is gonna have to nut up and you're gonna have to defend. You're gonna have to defend and move your feet. We can't be doing drop, man, to be lazy. That cannot happen.
Unc Dre says, this is what we wanted. Am I correct? If you're a real Knicks fan, let's go. Win or lose.
Agreed. I said that earlier, man. This is why you assembled this team, man. Yep. For this moment right here. This is what we wanted, man. When we got on them guys, why do you think the season opened up against Boston?
Yep.
On ring night, ring ceremony for them. Why do you think this is the league prepping us for this is the matchup they wanted. The NBA's happy right now. So now this is for the Knicks, everybody in that locker room to say, okay, it's us against the world. Let's go get it done. This is it, man. This is it.
Like I've been saying, LV. I mean, this series is going to be a big series for this Knicks group this summer. You assemble this team to match Boston and beat them in the regular season. Obviously, it's you played better against them though the last 2 matchups, and we could take little things from that, but you still didn't come out with a victory. But you played better against them, and that gives me a little slither of hope. I have the poll in YouTube chat. 77 votes so far. What is your series prediction? Knicks in 6, Knicks in 7. Celtics sweep the Knicks. Celtics in 5, 6, or 7. So far, Knicks in 6 and Knicks in 7 are both at 34%. LV.
Nice. That's what I got. I got Knicks in 7. Man. I got Knicks in 7, man. I got Knicks in 7. I think we closed it out in Boston, man. I think Knicks in 7. Brunson is a monster on the road. You saw what he did in Detroit, right? He lives for moments like this. He is the guy who doesn't like to hit the shot to hit a crowd cheer. He wants to hit the shot to make the crowd silence, right? So that's the beauty with him. So, the key with the playoffs is that, you have a lot of role guys. You have guys that do this and do different things on a team, right? But you got to have a killer over there. You got to have a killer. A guy that's going to get a bucket, because that's all it is, right? We already know what you're doing. We know what sets you're running, but can you get a bucket? Can you do that? And we got that guy. First time ever for the Knicks we've ever had a guy like that. It wasn't Patrick Ewing. You could maybe throw in Bernard King here and there, maybe Melo, but not like this guy. This guy is something different. And so to me, that's the optimism that I have with our team.
So you have Knicks in 6. So if this gets to a game 6 in MSG, LV.
No, I have Knicks in 7. Knicks in 7.
Oh, okay. But Knicks in 6, I mean, that'll be the biggest game in the Garden this century. If that's the case. That'll be a big game in the Garden. But yeah, look, I don't know. I'll get to my prediction a little bit later, but I'm like wavering a little bit. Like I know, like
I got you.
I don't want to be too optimistic, man. I'm a hoops fan and I love this Knicks team, but I mean, they're severe underdog for a reason.
Absolutely. You got to know who you're playing, man. You got to know who you're playing. Yeah. But I just. Yo, man, it's you against the world, man. And that's the beauty of being on sports teams, man. I played all through high school and college, man, and there was no better feeling than knowing that you're the underdog and everyone thinks you're going to lose.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks you're going to get smoked. Everybody thinks you're going to get blown out. There's nothing better than being in that locker room with your brothers. It's that brotherhood, and you feel like, yo, man, it's just us. No one else thinks we're going to win. No one else. And that just gets you going. Guys pay attention to details more. You're more there to kind of help each other out. That's why guys like playing better on the road than at home, right? Too many distractions at home. Yep. But when you're on the road, it's no wife and kids. It's none of that stuff. It's no aunt, cousins, brothers. mistresses. You know what I mean? All that stuff. It's none of that. It's just
Unless you're single, maybe.
right. It's just you and your guys,
Yeah.
and it makes you focus more, man. So that's the excitement about this, man. About this series.
A kid from Val says Celtics in 4, Thibs gone.
Hey, Ant, you know what, Ant? I did my show earlier, and there was something that someone said. I forget the guy's name on my show, and he said this, Ant, and I was thinking about throwing this out there to you. He said he would rather the Knicks lose. That's what he said. He would rather the Knicks lose, man, just so they can get Tibbs out of here. He would rather them lose. And I said, oh, man, I never even heard that before, man. And that's what he said. And he was like, and once again, I'm paraphrasing, but it was on the lines of, I would rather get swept than lose a tough series because then that would guarantee that Tibbs will be out of here. This is what's out there, man. This is what's out there. And I said, I'm paraphrasing. I could get some of it wrong, but that's basically the gist of it. And that was a big conversation in my chat. Like, everyone was saying that. Yo, Tibbs has burnt some bridges here, man. He's burnt some bridges big time. Guys want Tibbs out of here, man.
Bro, Tom Thibodeau is, you've heard it. Tom Thibodeau is a criminal. They don't like Tibbs. But I feel like that's like such a loser way to root for your team, right? It's like, I want this Knicks team to get embarrassed just so I can get what I want. But how do you know what you want is the right thing? What if there's like, it's a fantasy world, and I've heard that before, LV. I've heard like Knicks fans want this Knicks team to get absolutely slaughtered so they can make major changes this summer.
Right.
And I'm like, the fantasy in me, I'm like, look, you knew that argument was going to come, but to me, it's, I can never be that person.
Yeah, me neither.
I can never be like, oh, I want this Knicks team to lose just so, who knows? Like, what I would say to that person is this Knicks front office isn't scared to make moves, right? Mm-hmm. After the Miami Heat series that we lost, I mean, they pivoted during the next season, right? They got rid of RJ. They got rid of it quickly. After the series versus the Indiana Pacers, when everyone said that we were, being healthy away to competing against Boston. I think we won against Boston 2 times last year. But we got hurt. This next front office pivoted. So I think either way, I think if we lose, I think no matter how it looks, I don't think we need to be embarrassed. I think this front office is still going to make the necessary changes that it has to. Because we know what is a clear need on this team is depth. It's the bench, right? I mean, the bench stinks. I think, look, no matter what happens this series, LV, I think Deuce is still gone this summer. I don't think he's returning. I think they're going to trade him. Think I think maybe that's up in the air. They haven't dabbled in the starting Mitchell Robinson or Karl Anthony Towns. So I think it'll be a tremendous upset if we win this series. Obviously, if we win, then you're like, okay. But I think even if we win, they're still going to make changes this summer. So
yeah, absolutely. Whatever those changes are definitely coming. Changes are definitely coming. I totally agree with you.
So coaching, LV, who has the coaching edge, do you think? Speaking of Tom Thibodeau, Tom Thibodeau or Mazzulla, and how much will that actually matter in this series?
Oh man, definitely Mazzulla. He has the edge, of course, defending champ that he is. Even though Tibbs won a championship with Boston, being on the bench, he hasn't been a head guy and hasn't done it yet. Mm-hmm. So you definitely have to give it to Mazzulla. I think this is the series with how the X's and O's and once again deployment, right? I keep on saying that, but that's big because you got to make the right moves at the right time. You got to make the right decisions at the right time. When there's certain key moments in the game, sometimes it may not come down to a player. It may come down to a situation that the coach has to make. Perfect example, guys. We know this, right? We had Boston up by 3. And everybody knew we should have fouled, but you let Tatum run up the court and shoot a 3. That's coaching.
Yep.
Right? So once again, all those little things, and that matters, and it gets magnified in the playoffs, and like magnified.
Yep.
The decisions and the choices that you make as a coach that can, impact winning and losing. And so to me, the edge definitely goes to Mazzulla. Like I said, he's got a championship. just the decisions that he made this year with this team, on top of guys being injured, they've been still able to win games and win games convincingly. So to me, I think that plays a major, major part. And, I don't know, man, depending on how we look, do we look good this 7-game series? Or do we look bad to where we get a gentleman's sweep? Like, all those things are going to really hang, hang heavy on Tibbs, man. And so to me, is what's going to impact the series, man, the coaches.
Agree. Like, what do you like? I know we'll get to the X factors, and I have this graphic up for OG and Obi. What do you need to see this series to kind of walk away feeling good about this team's future? You need to see them go 6. I think it needs to be at 6 to be like,
easy,
okay,
easy. It has to be 6, man. It's got to be 6. It's got to that's. I mean, that's the ceiling, man. It's got to be 6, and if it goes 7, that's major, man. But they gotta show some fight. What we saw in that last game, and I have to stress that, is because I saw a fight in that last game. I saw a team that did not want to get swept in the season series, right? I saw that playing in the Garden, and they had an opportunity to win that game. So that's what I want to see for these 7 games. Because listen, they're the champs, man. Listen, these guys are really, really, really good. You know what I mean? So you got to respect them and respect what they can do. That's why most people, all people outside of maybe Knicks fans, have Boston winning the series. And a lot of them have Boston winning in 5 because of what happened this year in the series. So, I have to see the fight. I have to see games to where we should have had it, but we maybe lost, whatever. It's kind of like how Detroit feels about like their team, right? They felt like they had an opportunity to win the series if they would have made a couple of plays here and there. So there's a lot of optimism in Detroit right now because they felt they should have beat the Knicks. That's what has to happen here, and in order for us to say, okay, we're really close to getting these guys out of here. Like you said, make a couple of changes on the bench, we should be good going forward. But that's what has to happen, man. We got to have a series like that to where we feel like we're extremely close to beating these guys, and we only lost the series because of a minor couple of plays here and there.
I agree. I think a sweep will be an absolute disaster for this team. And I think that's a real reality check, and that fella that was in your chat room would actually like that, which is weird. But I think that this Knicks team needs to show, like, look, we're close. We're a little closer. Because you don't make these major trades and then take a step back. I mean, right? You don't sell your future and just make a step back unless they have another plan this summer that we're not even talking about. But I think this Knicks team, and I like what I saw in Game 6, man. Versus the Pistons. I like the fight, the Mikal, like we brought up earlier. Mikal really had his Nick moment in Game 6. Cursing at the end of the game. Just we built for this, and I just like what I saw. OG's going to have a hell of a time guarding Tatum, but it's going to be a team effort. We have the X Factor stat right here, LV. It says since the start of the 2024 postseason, the Knicks are 7-0 in playoff games in which OG attempts 14 or more field goals. Need him against the Boston Celtics. LV, and those of you in the chat, who is your X Factor for Knicks Celtics round 2? Go.
I think it's Josh Hart, man.
Okay.
I think it's Josh Hart. And the reason why I say it's Josh Hart, man, is because of what we said earlier. He's got to take advantage because they're gonna be playing drop on him all day. All day. He's got to shoot the ball to get them out of that. He shoots the ball and get them out of that. Now Porzingis has got to guard him. Now you can put the ball in Cat's hands and let him punish Tatum in the post. He proved it in last game what he could do to Tatum in the post. Tatum can't check him down there. But if you have a double coming because Josh Hart doesn't want to shoot the ball, that's going to cause problems offensively. And we're basically playing 4 on 5. And so, to me, that is the thing. Josh Hart is the X factor.
Many ways, yeah. I would say just to say another name, I would agree. I think Josh Hart is a major key. I think if he's hitting his threes, that is important, man. It's all hands on deck. You need to hit your threes versus this team. But, man, Brunson's going to do his thing. Cat's going to do his thing. Those are guys that we expect to perform really well. X Factor, man. Somebody that we... It's like it goes back to the blind faith thing. It's right. It's like I really want to see something from Miles. I do. Yeah. I do, man. I need to see something from him because you have to match their bench, kind of. You have to just same size as Pritchard, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Because, Dante used to eat Pritchard's food,
Yeah,
man.
come on, man. I need to
Dante
see
used to eat
something
his
from
food.
Miles, man. I
Quick,
need.
quick, quick, quick story time from LV. There's a story out there that everyone knows about. When Pritchard was being recruited coming out of high school, right?
Mhm.
He went to Oregon, but he wanted to go to Villanova. So he went to Villanova on a recruiting visit. And you know who was there? Dante was there. So Dante said to him, this is a true story now, guys. LV story time with him. Dante said to him, let's play one-on-one. And they said Dante was destroying this kid. And after that, he left the visit and he said, I don't want him to go to Villanova, and he wound up going to Oregon. True story. Peyton Pritchard, Dante DiVincenzo.
Fun story, LV, but we don't have Dante. So I mean, that would give me tremendous confidence if we did have Dante, but he's in Minnesota, and we have. I think the X factor is our bench. I do.
Yeah.
I don't think they could play like they played in round one and expect to even have a semblance of chance against this Celtics team. I do. I think the starters are going to do their thing. They're going to play a lot of minutes, but I think it's the minutes that JB's off the floor, the minutes that OG's off. I think it's our bench. I do. I think, Mitch, I expect to have a really good series this series, but I think it's whether Tom Thibodeau fluctuates, and I think all eyes are on Tom Thibodeau, right? Utilizing his bench, maximizing everyone's capabilities to their full strengths, which I think Thibs has kind of done a poor job at this year. But I think Thibs he's stubborn, right? We know he's stubborn. I think against the Celtics team, you have to play chess. You have to play chess against them. You can't be too predictable. You can't go into game one, just continue to do the same thing and expect the same result. That's the definition of insanity. You can't do that. So I think, look, whether it's Shamit, you said he might play game one. I think they'll go back to him a little bit. I don't see Wright playing, even though I would like to.
But see, Ant, but there you go, right? That's what you're saying about the stubborn piece. I love what you stated earlier, right? Why not play a Delon Wright, right? Throw a monkey wrench in there.
Yeah.
He's long, he's athletic. Let's see what he could do. He can probably, make things like hard for a guy like Pritchard, right? For a guy like, Drew Holiday, who's kind of dealing with his hamstring. Defensively, you never know what type of spark he can bring, especially if Deuce doesn't have it. Deuce is a smaller guard. Delon Wright is 6'5". He's a vet. He came in there for Deuce and those guys when they were injured, and he played really well. So, and he can knock down open threes, right? I'm not saying he's a three-point shooter, but he gets open, he can knock them down. But defensively, he's great. Throw a monkey wrench in there, right? So I totally agree with you, Ed. Don't be stubborn, man. All hands on deck. So that's the thing, right? Does Tibbs change? Does he do that and say, listen, man, look, we got to play everybody? Because listen, guys, if we look like straight dogs, excuse my language, Tibbs is his feet are to the fire, man. Because they do not want to see that happening. And like you said, they put this team together for a reason. Cat is getting $60 million, man. OG Anunoby's getting $212 million. They gave up 5 picks for Mikal. You think they want these guys going out there and getting boat raced in this series? There's so much money on the table with these guys. They got all this money invested in these players. You got to get the best out of these guys. So trust me, if they get boat raced in this series, his feet is in the fire, man. And this is your point, Ant. He can't be stubborn, man. He's got to be willing to make some changes here.
It does. And I agree wholeheartedly. I don't think they'll get it. I don't think they'll get boat raced in this series. I don't. I think they'll make it physical and they'll make it, tough on the Celtics. But yeah, LV, I think you got to. This is it. Like we've been talking. This is the third. This is it. I mean, you built your team to beat Boston. You made all these trades. I mean, you got to show us that. Look, we're built to beat Boston, right? We're built to beat Boston. I know it's year one. I don't really like the year one talk, but it is year one. Like, I feel like a broken record saying that. Like, I don't.
Listen. No one wants to hear year one when you're paying this guy $60 million.
No, the reason why I say I don't like the year one talk is because, like, you got other teams in the East they're not going to sit still. I mean, the Cavs leaped you this year, and you didn't expect that, right? Pacers are playing well. They just beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. Detroit's coming. Orlando's coming. So, yeah, it's year one, but you got to be careful here. So I think I think this next team is going to have make this a fight. Just make it a fight. And going back to Karl Anthony Towns, LV. So, what kind of series do you think Cat has to have for the Knicks to actually make this a series, or possibly even win this series? Do you think this series bodes well for him rather than the first round of the playoffs?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's got mismatches all everywhere. They don't like playing the way Boston plays. They don't put bigs on him. They put small guys on him.
Yeah.
Because they want Porzingis to roam, right?
Yep.
So this is an opportunity for him to really get busy, right? Especially if they put Tatum on you. If they put Drew Holiday on him, I do not want to see Tibbs going to the read and react offense like he runs. I want them going simple, basic with feeding Cat. If they double, spray the ball out. That's simple, man. But you got to let him do damage down there. When they started doing that, Cat played really, really well. You can't that's where, you got to kind of you got to do your job as a coach. Like, if you identify a mismatch, go to it. Most teams do that. If they can't stop it, continue to go to it. Like, it's not hard. Like, just do that. That, to me, is where the problem's going to be. Like, he can really dominate down there in that box. And that's where you got to feed Cat. And then through that, the 3-point shots will come to you, right, on the trail. That's beautiful. The same thing they do with Porzingis. They've done it with Cat this year. This is why he was starting center for the East. This is why he's going to make an All-NBA team, because of how great we were offensively. Don't stop doing that. But identify the mismatch, do that, inside out, and that's it, man. But listen, man, we make it harder for ourselves sometimes. It's right there. If he's down there with a smaller guy, let him punish that guy, man. That's it. It's really simple basketball.
Simple. I think Cat could, likewise, I think Cat could it will have a big series this series. They're going to put a smaller guy on him. They're going to put, I don't know, who do you think is going to guard him? Brown?
Nah, I don't think Brown, because remember, he's got knee issues. I think they're going to.
My Celtics friend also said Tatum guarding Cat is he doesn't. That should be an easy matchup.
They might not. They might not do that because of the fouls, right? Because Cat just draw a lot of fouls. The issue now is that's where the injury part comes in at, because we don't know how healthy Drew Holiday is.
Yeah,
because that's who they usually put on him. We don't know how healthy that hamstring is, and him leaning on Cat trying to get position puts a lot of strain on your hamstring. So I don't know what that's going to look like. That's why, once again, what we see in game one is going to matter, right? What do they roll out there with? Who do they have matching up on him right away? But I do see a guy like Tatum. But once again, that all depends on what Drew Holiday looks like.
Yeah, Zara said Horford will guard Cat when he's in the game as well. El Figgy says Cat can't let KP block him. Cat is sometimes lead-footed. Yeah, he is. So, yeah, look, it's gonna be a dogfight, LV, but kind of reset the room a little bit, and then we'll give our predictions. So, like I said, spoke to a Celtics fan, and he said, look, you got to make Jaylen Brown dribble. You got to take away Jason Tatum's playmaking. You got to stay disciplined. You got to win game one. Celtics rarely lose back-to-back games. If Holiday is healthy, he picked them in 5, and that's what you're seeing a lot. Celtics in 5. So Holiday is key to them. Celtics, again, they tend to play silly. They blow big leads a lot. They have these lows throughout the game where even though they go up big, don't get discouraged, Knicks fans, because a run is coming. And we saw that 2 games prior, facing the Celtics. So make Jaylen Brown dribble and make him make and make him facilitate, because the Celtics don't want that. They want him to, they don't want him dribbling. He can't dribble.
He's like OG, right? OG does the same thing.
Yeah.
Every time OG dribbles, I'm like, yo, man, just stop. He's like tripping over his own feet. I'm like, what is this guy doing? So I think they're pretty much like the same thing, how we feel about OG.
They don't like it to be physical. You can bother Tatum. He said, be physical with Tatum. It kind of throws his game off a little bit. And, you can't stop the step back. The Tatum step back, LV. It's
dangerous, man.
I mean, even OG Anunoby, I mean, you can't stop that. He's going to hit those.
Big, and he's big, man. You got to understand, most guys shoot from here, man. He's bringing the ball up here. You can't reach it, man. Like, they're just not big enough. You know what I'm saying? He knows the way he shoots is like really weird. It's different than most people. And he's just, he's just a really, really skilled player, man. He just really is. He's kind of like, he gives me a little bit of Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? And different players, but same type of skill set where their release point is, man. They're really, really hard to block. So he's a dangerous player, man. That's why he's averaging 33.5 against us this year, man.
Yeah, he's tremendous, right? And look, I think Brunson and him, I'm not gonna say they would cancel each other out, but when clutch time is here, I mean, we're led by our captain, number 11. He has been awesome. Even I think the first round was absolutely incredible. So also said the non-Jason Tatum minutes are crucial. You have to take advantage of that. So all in all, man, their bench is solid. Al Horford what is he, like 38, 39? He's still hitting threes, and it's just
Really?
unbelievable.
I thought it was like 48. What do you think? He's old, man. Listen, man, he played on the same college team as Joakim Noah. That's how old he is, man.
That's crazy, man.
That's what I'm saying, man. He's an old relic, man. He played in college with Joakim Noah. They played like 4 years together. Like they won 2 championships there in Florida. That's how old he is, man.
Golly.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. I think he's like 40 years old, man. I think he's lying about his age because he's up there, man.
He might be. Loud and Clear says, OG get some ball handling lessons from my guy Jamal Crawford. He will be MVP next year. Shout out to Loud and Clear, man. Shout out to the members in the chat, man. Keith says Knicks have to keep KP off the perimeter. He is not good driving to the rim. KP had a bad. How would you guard KP? I mean, he's going to take his pick and pop threes. I mean, he's going to take his threes that are like 5 feet behind the 3-point line. He's going to take those. Yeah. Those are not good shots, but they're good for the Celtics.
Right.
And I would be physical with them. And I know
you got to switch, man. You got to switch, man. You got to switch. You can't give him no room because he's big. But if you switch him, even with Brunson, so if you switch on him automatically, and then it forces him to probably put the ball on the floor. But you don't want him doing a catch three where you're trying to chase and double and whatever. Another thing the Knicks do, which bothers me, and this is one thing comes to coaching, they overhelp too much. You don't need to help because what they're doing is they're drawing you in to spray out. And that's where they kill you. So you got to really, as soon as they come over that double team, Porzingis is rolling, you got to switch automatically. Do not give him time to load up and hit the three because that's what gets them going, man. It's like, a motivational thing for them. But that's how you guard that with him, man. You got to switch on that. Like, soon as automatically he comes, you got to just call it. Switch and we're going right away. You have to, man. Yeah. You can't give him no room.
You can't. He'll take advantage. I mean, he doesn't want to bang in the paint. He doesn't. He's kind of like Cat, right? I mean, he wants to shoot. But obviously, I think Cat is stronger and KP is a better rim protector than Cat. But yeah, just look. They're going to take like 45 plus threes a game. They are. And this Knicks team defends the three poorly. So you're sitting there like, that's a recipe for a disaster. I think they're third worst in defending the three. Celtics, they love taking the three. So
that doesn't bode well against playing against these guys. Yeah. Man. So
it doesn't. So, but I say all that, and last game, this Knicks team found different ways to beat them. I know there was no Horford in that game. Correct. There was Jaylen Brown sat in the second half. So predictions, LV, you ready?
Let's go.
So LV, I know you gave your prediction a little bit, but just give your prediction, explain why, and I'll give mine after.
Absolutely, man. I definitely think in 7. The reason why I think in 7 is because I think we've learned some lessons from losing to them 4 straight times. I think the Knicks battle with these guys. I think Detroit series really helped us. It helped us in a sense to where we kind of was going through a lot of struggles during that series, but we found ways to come together as a team and pull out victories, really close victories. Mm-hmm. And what that does is that builds character with a team. And so I think that's going to spill over into this series. I think we're motivated. It's us against the world. And I think we close it out in Boston, not even in the Garden, on the road against the defending champs. I think Brunson has a big Game 7, 45 points in Game 7, and we beat the C's, man. And we play, you ready? We play the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's go.
LV just wrote a book with a great ending. that we all would purchase if that was the case, right? Look, it's going to be a tough series, man. But if you're going to lose swinging, right? But if the Knicks find a way to steal this series, if they make it ugly, slow it down, and impose their will, it won't just be an upset, LV. It'll be the night like this league realizes, and all right, this Knicks team is finally here, finally arrived, right? You made all these trades, so don't worry about all the odds. I know you're seeing a lot of stuff out there, like you're even seeing this graphic out there. I forgot to put it up. It's the graphic where every single reporter.
Yes, I did see that. Look at that.
The Celtics, right? Celtics in 6, Celtics in 5. So final tally: Boston 11,
11 now.
New York 0.
Bruh.
So, and then I came up with this graphic, LV. I was like, all right. That's AI for you, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. There he goes.
All right, we got Captain Brunson. He's ready to lead the shit. Mm-hmm. You want to pick against us? We love it. We love being the underdogs.
That's right.
So the updated poll is 90 votes. Knicks in 6 is winning with 36%. I love Knicks fans. I do. Celtics in 5 and 6 or 7 is 24%. Knicks in 7 is at 33%. I don't know if I'm like. I can't pick the Knicks, LV. I can't. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I guess you can give me that button, but I hope I'm wrong. I've been picking this Knicks team for the last 3 years, but until this Knicks team shows me, I know they had a great round 1. Call me a fraud, but I'm a hoop fan, and I just don't think that this Knicks team is ready, and that's fine, right? I think this Knicks team will take it upon themselves this summer and make their possible changes. But talk to me after game 1. Talk to me. You got to get out there with a split, right? You got to. But I picked the Celtics in 6. I think this Knicks team will win a couple of games. But in a 7-game series, I think, the Celtics team is too good, too talented. And just shock the world, man. Right?
That's right.
Shock the world.
That's right. Shock the world. That's right.
I don't know. Am I a fraud for doing that?
No. You're a very smart man. You're not jumping out the window like LV. See, I'm jumping out the window, man. That's how much I believe in my team. I believe in my team. I believe in the us against the world thing, man, in that locker room. That's what I'm thinking about. But from a betting man, you got to kind of lean into what you're saying, man. I mean, listen, look, and they haven't proven that they can beat these guys. I mean, they just haven't. I mean, these games have been lopsided. I mean, really, really bad, right? So they've given most people no reason to believe in them, none. And so it's very valid why you should have. I've heard people say 5, man. 5, because of how bad we've looked against this team. But I think it's something about playing 6 games. Getting behind in those games, finding a way to fight. Mikal Bridges coming to turn in the corner with how he's playing. Us against the world mentality. That I think that this team can pull something out. And once again, like you stated, shock the world, man.
Yeah. Shock the world, man. Shock the world.
It's like, nah, LV. It's over. I can't. He's like, help me, man. I'm trying. I hear your motivation, man. I can't do it, LV.
There's ways for this Knicks team to perform well, but like I said, it's like you're asking for the bench to all of a sudden provide value, and if this Celtics bench is just hitting on all cylinders, and if Deuce isn't still stepping up, but the thing that gives me confidence is Deuce and Payne have had good games versus Boston this year, and.
Now, Ant, would you feel different if you knew the coach was willing to make changes on the fly?
Yeah.
If he was to say, okay, Deuce doesn't have it. Okay, Delon Wright, you're playing.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're gonna put Mitch out there, put Cat at the 3 and then put Akaporti out there because that's what I like. I'm just throwing things out there, but you know what I'm saying. He's willing to do different things to try to steal victories. Like, would you feel a lot differently then in that aspect?
I would, because I don't think Thibs has done a great job this year utilizing the talent to their best abilities, and I would feel differently. I still might pick against the Knicks if that were the case, but I know Thibs is not going to deviate. Look, these guys are going to play heavy minutes, as they should. Boston, I mean, I'm sure Tatum's going to average, 43, 44 minutes this series. I mean, your starters are going to play a lot. This Knicks team isn't deep to have the benefit of resting their starters, but yeah, like if I were to see some like creativity from him, like, I know going zone is like a terrible example against this team, but
no, but I know what you're saying. Though. I know
just
what
like
you're saying.
throw them off a little bit. If I were to see that, like the up 3 and no fouling stuff, is just comical to me. I mean, they did it again in Game 6. They didn't foul. I think they tried. They tried to, but if he catches that ball, I mean, who knows?
Right. Yeah, that's a coaching blunder again. Agreed.
So, yeah. But yeah, look, I'm still confident in the group, guys. Obviously, I'll still be here rocking with you guys, and I'm not. This is not going to be an easy series for the Celtics. Make it difficult, make it tough, and I'm still excited for this series. But if you were to ask me to make a prediction, that's my prediction. So, not a fraud. I love this Knicks team, but I mean, I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah, you got to. Nah, agreed.
I'm just keeping it real. All right, LV. Anything else you wanted to touch on before we head up on out of here?
Nah, man, let's just get ready, man. Now's the time. It's game time, man. So as soon as we chomp off here, it's going to be 11, man. It's game time. Now we're here, man. We're here next week. I think the boys are already out there in Boston right now.
Yep.
They're all probably in a hotel getting prepped and ready. So it's exciting, man. There he is. That's how he looks at his hotel room right now.
JB. Look, one thing about as long as we got number 11 LV, we got a shot. I've been saying that for years.
Yeah, agreed.
Right? As long as we got number 11, we got a shot.
He's cold, man. He's too cold, man.
Yeah, he's cold. Let's go. Let's go Knicks, man. Appreciate every single one of you in the chat. Rock with us. Once again, subscribe, like, all the good stuff. LV's YouTube channel is linked up in the description. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. LV, this was fun. Let's go Knicks. Win a game in Boston. Steal one. And it might get crazy on here on YouTube. It might. I don't know what I'll do, but steal one in Boston. Let's go. Get us hype again. Let's go. LV, this was fun. Appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Peace, man. Appreciate you.
Let's go Knicks. Peace.